I'm constantly trying to figure out why the youngsters today they're already millionaires. What do they know that I don't know? I don't get it. I'm not a millionaire. And then I was thinking, and then I figured it out. You know what's the problem? I'm old. Yes, guys, I'm old. Hi, guys. I don't know if you have noticed, but we are marching towards the end of the year. Almost Christmas time, and 1 year passed by like this. We are simply getting old. And while I was thinking about that, how this time is passing by, how quickly it's passing by, how old I am, I was wondering, Bernie, why aren't you a millionaire yet? What's the problem? There are so many youngsters today, 18 years, 20 years, below 20 years, and they have millions. And what do? They're on social media, they have TikTok accounts, Instagram accounts, I don't know what, and they are not producing anything relevant. They're just simply producing some bullshit, some funny shit. There is no added value to any of their content. They have a massive amount of followers, and based on that, they're earning millions. Of course, they are making some kind of sponsorships and so on. So they're not only making money from the views, from the millions of the views, they're also doing some kind of sponsorship with different companies. So they promote something and so on. But at the end of the day, there is no added value except of they are spending someone else's time because they are putting that person while he's scrolling on his mobile phone in the position that they stop on their video and they immerse themselves into that content, and somehow that person who is looking at their video somehow feels better. They run away from their problems, and that's the thing that someone is willing to pay. But what's the added value? What we produced? Basically nothing. And I was asking myself one simple question. Why my generation, obviously I'm Mr. Fred Flintstone, I'm 2000 years old, why my generation is so cursed? Because why, if I'm looking only my generations, there are not so many millionaires, especially when we are looking at this modern digital technology, digital environment on the internet using social media and so on. And why is that? And and these youngsters, they hatched yesterday and they already have these mobile phones, all this digital shit around them, and they're because they have grew with those technology and inventions, they have managed to utilize and that technology and use it as a leverage for them to make money in some way. And my generation, we were not raised like that. So we don't know, we don't understand how to leverage this technology. Maybe we can learn, so we haven't grew with that technology when we were younger. But okay, we understand that technology, but what prevents us to use that technology and this digital space to become millionaires? And basically the answer to that question is because we have been raised up in a different way. We have been raised up in a different moment in time when some other values were more important and they were passed down by our parents, by our grandparents, and so on. And they have taught us that you have to work. You know, that Arbeit macht frei. So it means that work, it sets you free. It liberates you in some way. So you have to work, because if you work, that's the only way you can give meaningful work. That's the only way you can give some kind of new added value to the system, to your friends, to your relatives, to other people, doesn't matter. So if you go on a field and do some kind of farming there, then you will grow crops, then you will, I don't know, be able to sell that crops, or you will be able to, I don't know, make from that food for your farm animals, and then you will have meat, and then you can sell that meat or leather or something like that. And then basically you are making some kind of added value in your society, because you're producing something meaningful, because people need that. People need to eat, people need to, I don't know, have people need to drink, they have to cover themselves when it's raining. So so there are things that people have to buy because they're living on this earth, and there should be always people who are producing those kinds of things, and that people will always be important. We'll always need them in our economy. But today, everything is fucked up. You understand me? Because if there is no one that's on the field, no one growing that crops, no one having farms of, I don't know, cows, pigs, chickens, it doesn't matter, then what are we going to eat? Because if we evolve into this digital, and as we are evolving into this digital era, we still have to drink. We have these biological things and urges and needs that we have to fulfill. So we will need those kinds of professions that will give us this kind of value. But the problem is today that we value something more about that. We value stupid shit, stupid content without any kind of added value, and we value it more than these basic things, the things that we really need. And what's the problem? The problem is the system of values. That's the problem. Because when we were born, we were taught that you have to go to school, you have to be nice, you have to clean your bed, you have to help your grandma, you have to help your friends, you have to go to school, go to university, and then be a lawyer or be a doctor or be an engineer, something that's meaningful, something that gives actual real value to the society, and the society will always need that kind of things. And at the end of the day, it is, I would say, quite true that we will always need those kinds of things. We always need engineers. We will always need doctors in some way, shape, or form, because people will get sick. Until we'll be able to live forever without any kind of diseases or illness, until that we will need doctors. AI doctors, living doctors, doesn't matter, but we will need doctors. So this profession will be important as we go into the future. And we have to understand that those things are things that we need to cherish, that present the real value to the system, and not those things that I'm jumping around the room and saying "Whoa," and basically recording myself on some stupid song and on some stupid viral trend, because everybody is jumping on one foot. It's a viral trend. Now I will create a new video jumping on one foot, and it will make me famous. I will have millions of views. I will get money from these views. Maybe I will get some kind of sponsorship to, I don't know, promote some company or some product, and then get even more money. But I'm not doing anything. No, so I'm not doing anything. The question is, will we as society get, I don't know, sick and tired of this digital era and this swiping on TikTok, on Instagram, and so on? If the answer is yes, then what will all those creators do? Because they didn't go to school, they became millionaires before their 20s. If they are not financially literate, and most of them aren't, they will spend all their money on stupid shit, so they will end up with losing most of their money. Only those that are investing and thinking about their future, maybe they will be okay in the future, but the majority of them will be in a situation where this kind of value, this kind of content is not consumed anymore. No one wants it, no one looks at it. And you didn't go to school, you decided that you don't need school, you don't need anything meaningful, you don't have any kind of meaningful real life skill that actually matters to this world. So what will you do? What will happen to you? And my generation is basically cursed. Why? Because we were not born into this technology. It's not native for us to swipe and to lose time on stupid shit. Because our parents and grandparents, they put in our heads the values that you need to work, that you need to do something with your hands, that you have to be disciplined, and so on, that you shouldn't be looking at the television because you will, I don't know, lose your eyes or lose your sight and you'll become blind or something like that. You know, we have this strict regime when we have to go to school. When we got home, we have to do our homework first, then we go out and do some kind of physical labor, maybe chopping woods or mowing our lawns, such things. And we didn't have the time, we didn't have the technology. This technology, it came afterwards, I don't know, 10, 15 years, when we were maybe in our primary or high school. Okay, we know how to use it. It's not strange for us to use it. We have adopted this technology, but we are not native to this technology. Our parents and grandparents, especially them, they are not native to this technology. Our grandparents, most of our grandparents, maybe 2 or 3 generations before, they were all working in the field. They were farmers. They have maybe some small field. They have few chickens here and there, and everybody in the village, they were living like that. So it was my hometown, my village. It was a small village, a small community. Everyone knew everyone, and everyone had the same. They shared everything. They were, I don't know, hanging around together. Okay, there were maybe 1 or 2 guys that were rich, let's say rich to today's standards, but those guys were someone, in most cases, they came from somewhere else, maybe from Germany, Austria, or something like that. They had this family rich background, so they have only continued the family business, and they have opened maybe some stores or some farming communities and companies in our hometowns and villages. And of course, they have continued this business and just multiplying the wealth that they already had. Okay, but those are, I don't know, 1 or 2 people in 1,000 or 2,000, so in promils, so it is part of the percentage, 0 point maybe 1% of the people that were like this. Everybody else had pretty much the same values, they shared the same values, and they were brought up like this. You have to take care of yourself, you have to be nice, you need to know how to iron your pants, how to wash your hair, how to trim your nails, how to, I don't know, behave like a good nice human being to others when you are in front of someone important, how to behave, and so on. So we were raised like that. Today's kids, they are not raised in that manner, and on top of that, they are using this technology as their leverage, And basically they showed us, because I'm part of this old folks guy, they have showed us that we are not correct, because we are teaching them and we are saying, my generation is telling to their kids, you have to go to school, you have to go to college, you have to this, you have, in order to, I don't know, have a good steady job and so on. But while we are saying that to them, we already understand and know that that's not correct. That's completely and total bullshit and lie. And why? Because we already see those youngsters, millionaires, driving around their Porsche, Ferraris, and so on, having millions and millions of dollars and not producing anything intelligent, some bullshit content, because just they have this attention, because we are living in an attention economy. They understand that, and they are leveraging that to their benefit. And who is crazy? Them, who are basically creating this stupid content and earning millions of dollars and have much more money that I will ever have in my life, or me, who is telling them you have to go to school to earn 2,000 euros per month, or $2,000 or $3,000 per month. And they are earning millions before even going to college. So what's the point of sending them to college to earn that money afterwards when they get a job, if they already are millionaires? And if they are rational with their money, they are set up for life, so they are good. So if they invest, if they put the money somewhere else where the money will create money, you understand us. And what's the problem? Why am I or my generation cursed? Because we have this fucking hard wiring in our head that's telling us you cannot create stupid content because you weren't raised like that. You were raised like, when you are producing something, it has to be meaningful. It has to give value. You have to see the results, and the results have to provide some kind of benefit to you, to others, and something like that. And you cannot just jump around on one foot and making videos, viral videos, because in the eyes of our parents, grandparents, the people who gave us those values, that's bullshit. That's not work. That's not the system of values that you should have and you should cherish, and so on, and nourish. And that's where we have this problem. We see these youngsters making millions, and we are saying to ourselves, it's not logical. We were raised in another way, and my set of values are saying that's not normal, but it shouldn't be like that. But nevertheless, it is. So the reality is completely different from the system of values that someone taught us. And now we are trying to figure out whether or not I can also use this kind of technology to be a millionaire. And the answer is not as quite, because we are 20 years behind, 15, 20 years behind. We cannot catch with that train because we are not native to this technology, to this digital era. We are learning it, we are immersing ourselves into it, but it's not like an extension of our body. It's not part of our life like it is for our children, like when they are 10 or 15 years old. So it's completely natural for them. For us, it's a matter of learning and adopting this new technology. And then when we adopt this new technology, then it's the matter of going above and beyond our own set of values, crushing them down to earth and saying that's bullshit. All of the things that we have learned while we were young is bullshit, and now I should start jumping on one foot. I never jumped on one foot and make a viral video because my brain tells me that's completely stupid and completely bullshit, and I don't want to make an ass of myself in order to get money. And that's my hardwiring in brain that prevents me of doing that. So I am the biggest problem for myself. So I am the one who is preventing myself to do such things and to become a millionaire. So something is pulling me back, and it's my set of values. You understand? And these youngsters, they don't have this kind of issue. And when you don't have this kind of issue, then you can produce something. You don't care what will other people say. You don't care what the village will say, what the town will say, what other people will say. You just simply do it. You get the money and you simply don't care. This is not how we were raised when I was young. So these youngsters, they're not doing anything smart. They're just copy pasting the viral things that there is today. So there is a set of videos or viral things that are moving around these social networks, and you just have to pick and choose these viral trends and to be up to date with them. And whenever this new viral trend occurs, you have to just produce another 10-second videos, and that's it. And that's it. And that's it. So there is nothing smart. So what do you think, guys? Is it better for those youngsters today, or are we fucked, this generation 30 to 40 years old, because we are teaching them something that doesn't apply anymore for them because the world has changed, the digital era has come, and the schools are not teaching you anything? So my real question is, when it comes to this money, do we really need to tell our youngsters what to do? Do we have to learn them, or we should learn from them, obviously, because they are making the millions? They are in a better financial position than we are. I don't know. The thing that we have to admit that the world is changing, and we have to, let's say, also admit that the world belongs to them. We are the generation who's getting older and older each day, and I don't know what kind of values they will pass down to their kids. Because if they don't have the same kind of values, will they pass down the values that you should jump from the day you are born, you should make stupid videos, jump around, and just, I don't know, financially benefit from each stupid viral trend, and that's it. You don't have to learn anything special. You don't need to know any kind of skill that really matters to this world. I don't know, but at the end of the day, as I said, I believe in this natural law, because we still live on this planet Earth, and you have to eat, you have to sleep, you have to drink something, and the economy will always need people that are doing something that actually matters. So they are producing food, producing something to drink, producing some kind of means of transportation, how to travel, and so on, because we all use that on a regular daily basis, and it will not go away. But only the question is how much attention and value we will get to those guys who are actually doing something intelligent, important for the society and the world, and to those stupid kids that are creating shit, basically, and nothing special. And you don't get any kind of added. Maybe you get a millisecond of a satisfaction and you forget about your problems for a millisecond, but is it worth millions and millions of dollars? So do I like it or not? The only thing is that I'm sad about it. And I said we are cursed, because if I was born 10 or 15 years later, maybe now I would be a millionaire. If I was born 15 years earlier, I would already be thinking about my retirement, and I wouldn't give a shit about this new generation and how they are earning their money and earning those millions. But we are just, my generation is this fuck generation in the middle who has to compete with these youngsters and has to tell them what to do. And basically, we already see that what we are trying to tell them is wrong. It doesn't apply anymore, and we have to learn from them. But by learning from them, we have to override all the system of values that we have been planted from our parents. So it's a complete fuck up in our brains. So it's attention economy. Maybe you managed to hold your attention while you're listening to me. And I think, and I believe in this natural law that maybe it's only a part of this. It's popular today. It's a trend. But once this trend goes away, because people will get fed up with it will become boring, then maybe, and maybe then, those people who actually do some meaningful work will move forward and become the most important people that we need and cherish and value in the society. And then I believe that it will come to this at some point in time. But then the question is how these youngsters who haven't learned anything, they don't have this set of values, they don't want and know how to produce anything meaningful, they didn't go to school, they don't want to learn any kind of skill, they don't want to work with their bare hands to produce something. How the world will look like? How will they manage to survive? Did you think about that? I don't know, guys. Write in the comments and we'll see. Bye.